Right Network. Mobilizing, countering the left, energizing the right. New Right Network, home of the New Right movement.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to New Right Network's original series, Smith TV. Your host, Brian Smith, giving you all the breaking news of the day, wrapping it all up, making sense of it, exposing the fake news, and giving you the real news right here on Smith TV. Jump over to smith.tv, check out the website, become a Patreon, check out the shop. While you're there, Donald Trump's live Twitter feed, so you never miss a tweet. And if this is the first time been to the show, crush the like, crush the share, much appreciated. And if you're on Twitter, make sure you hit the bell for notifications so you catch the show every time. And if you're one of those folks like me, where I don't get notifications from my friends, from my family, from anybody because, you know, the powers that be decide that I shouldn't have that, go down in the show notes below. And in the show notes, it says Telegram. Telegram is an app on your phone. And you use it to message individuals and message other people. The difference with Telegram is that it has more of a robust platform, meaning you can have hundreds of thousands of people in a group. And we have a very large group, not hundreds of thousands, but we got a pretty large group on Telegram. And you will receive all notifications from Smith TV in a timely manner, right in real time. You'll receive all the notifications. Now, nobody can reply back, so there's not a lot of chatter, a lot of issues or anything like that. The only thing that is posted is the show and the show notes, so you'll never miss a single show. And if this is the first time on the show, this is how the show works. In the show notes that says full show notes, that'll take you to New Right Network's website where the video is embedded, and there's usually three pages of show notes. There's links to the handles to the individuals that we use their tweets from Twitter. You can click on that and follow them. They're tweeting out real news, trusted, newsworthy individuals that I trust. I vetted out. They're friends of ours. And so whenever we reference an article or we reference a tweet, you can always go down there in the notes and you can get back to that tweet. You can reference it to your friends and your family. Like if somebody's complaining about Donald Trump lying about this and Donald Trump's lying about that, go down in the show notes, copy that tweet, and send it to those knuckleheads and say, hey, look, here's the real news, man. Maxine Waters is off her rockers, and here's why. And I say that because apparently this morning, Maxine didn't take her medication, and she went pretty crazy on Twitter. I'll show you that, and we'll juxtapose. And see, this is the humiliating factor for these politicians. They are on full display on social media. I take the real news, I take their tweets, and I put them right together, and I show you how ridiculous some of these politicians are getting. They're literally gaslighting their entire party because that's the only way they can maintain power, they can maintain votes, is to gaslight them. And for those of you new on the show and maybe not understand gaslight, back in 1943, there's a movie called Gaslight, and the husband convinced the wife that she was going crazy by doing all kinds of stunts to her, unbeknownst to her. One time he put her medication in her purse and said, look, I'm putting it in your purse. But when he pulled his hand out, he pulled the medication back out and then accused her of going crazy and being crazy. And so anyway, so the whole movie is all about gaslighting and making his wife think that she's crazy. This is what the Democrat Party is doing to their entire voter base, making them go crazy, thinking that Donald Trump is some kind of literally Hitler, some kind of dictator, some kind of tyrant and going to blow up the world. They did this back with Ronald Reagan. We've never seen it this bad before. This is pretty crazy. And my thoughts on why it's so crazy now is because we've got social media. We've got real news. I can expose these Democrats by myself with my computer and in my studio. I can expose these knuckleheads like that. It's all over with. So they've got to get worse. They've got to go full bore. They've got to go even deeper and deeper and deeper into the lie. Adam Schiff going very, very far with the lie, nonstop. James Comey, John Brennan, Clapper, got to keep the lie up. Nancy Pelosi with her rants this past week, got to keep the lie, got to keep the lie. And when they keep the lie up, and we come out with real news, their followers or their voters do one of two things. Either they go the road of Brandon Straka and hashtag walk away, or Candace Owens, hashtag Blexit, or some of the former Jewish Democrat voters, hashtag Jexodus. We now need a hashtag walk away from Islam. That's my own personal thing. Hashtag walk away from Islam, y'all. But the further they go, one of two things happen. Either that happens and people walk away, or they stay and they get crazed and incensed because they can't compete. They can't combat. The ideologies just aren't there. So they turn to cussing you out or name calling or trashing you or blocking you on social media and running away because they got nothing else. This is the dangerous result of gaslighting that the Democrats are engaged in, and we're exposing it right here on New Right Network's new series, SmythTV. And as we're jumping down into show notes, I've got a video from RNR Kentucky, fantastic outlet, absolutely. They're tweeting out about amazing patriots. Again, we showcase amazing patriots here on the show, but they put together a 2-minute video montage, posting up their picture and their handle. I've got all their handles right there in the top of the notes, so you can go to each one of them. Some of them you're going to recognize because they've been on the show many times before and they're good friends of ours, and some of them are new to you, but they tweet out great news and good stuff about Donald Trump, important information that you can take to your friends and your family and say, hey, this is what Trump is doing to make America great again. We got Trump news. Guys, we've got some great information coming out from Donald J. Trump. I'm just absolutely ecstatic, not only his policies, but the people that he has put in power to carry out his agenda. Finally, after 2.5 years, we finally have loyalists in the White House helping this president to make America great again. I'm going to tell you right now, next year and a half, run up to 2020 is going to be incredible. Donald Trump knows promises made, promises kept, and he's got to keep those promises. He knows how powerful keeping those promises are and how his base is now behind him. 95% of his base still holding strong, with the likes that some people saying harkens all the way back to Abraham Lincoln didn't even hold that much of his base. I'm just saying we're in a battle. We're in a battle of ideologies, digital warriors, if you will, right here. New Right Network, great writers right here on SmythTV. And then again, before I forget, our show's Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern. And right after the show, our good friend Wayne Dupree, The Wayne Dupree Show. It comes at 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern. You got 2 hours of back-to-back incredible information, folks. This is how we keep America great, putting out the real news. And we've got Maxine Waters. Whew, I told you she went crazy, and boy, did she ever. These tweets that she put out this morning, just horrendous, and absolutely show you how bad these politicians are getting. It is worse than you can imagine. And juxtapose, I'll also show you Jim Jordan, Ron DeSantis, and Donald Trump doing good, moving forward with policies and ideologies. Mad Max going rogue. Spygate, a little bit of updates on the Spygate with Representative Mark Meadows tweeting out and giving us great information on what is developing and what is to come. Also, Paul Sperry has some breaking news. And then we're going to get into not abortion in the sense that we're going to get into a whole hour of abortion. Now, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. But I will say this. It will shock you what the GOP leadership and Kevin McCarthy is doing to expose the Democrats. And it will shock you that you've probably never heard this information before because it will never be put on mainstream media. I don't even think I'm hearing Fox News talk about this. That's why you tune in here, because you get stuff that you're never going to hear on mainstream media. You're never going to hear it on Fox News. You hear it right here on SmythTV, folks. And then we've got a little bit of Islam making some news and then exposing fake news. Again, stuff you're never going to hear. Again, stuff CNN is just spewing out. It's just absolutely not real. And then we'll wrap this all up with some incredible information on the Trump 2020 landslide, why it's going to be a landslide, where the people are at, testing the waters and getting out the real information. Donald Trump calling out politicians on not to run, and Donald Trump calling out politicians that we should support. I trust Donald Trump. I trust the decisions that he's making. I'm not this always truster and blind believer. There's some things that I disagree with Donald Trump on. However, it's very few and far between. So let's jump right in and let's go to the amazing patriots that you and I absolutely need to be following. I am now following every one of these, but I've got all the ones in the show notes that you need to click on and follow. Okay, Trump 454545, Silver _ Fox 9, and MAGA Gwen. Trumpovic 02, Mazur IKL, Boyd _ 2650, Diane, Lady _ VI _ 2U, Maggie B1B, Chris Rowland 9, C Sin 5858, T Boots, an absolute gem to follow, Brian Amaga Swaga, Nancy at DRHR94, Vicky for Trump, Joe Gooding, K June 65, BMW 2163 Hart, Texas A Lone Star, Alley 167, Safina, and our good friend Real MAGA Steve. Wolfen's Pride, RNR Kentucky, Katrina _ Weiser, Real TT 2024. And the tweet goes, these patriots are amazing, tweeting most days for America and POTUS. We support him 100%. Ask that you will also. He is one who has America's best interest at heart. Democrats, you better wake up to the truth and all that's going on. Turn off fake news and do your own research. Hashtag Trump 2020. These are the real MAGA folks that are putting out real information. This is what they do all day long. Folks, I'm telling you right now, when you get on Twitter, for those of you not on Twitter, and I know there's a lot of folks that listen to the show audio only and sometimes on Facebook. For those of you not on Twitter, sometimes it can feel like you're tweeting out into a vacuum. You're screaming into a giant, huge stadium, and there's nobody in that stadium. I know, I've been there before, but it's really nice to be acknowledged for all your hard work, digging in and finding the real news, tweeting that out and showcasing what is real out there. And that's what we like to do here. Folks, I'm here for you every day, Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern. And then right after this show, Wayne Dupree's show comes on from 8 to 9 p.m. Incredible stuff coming out of New Right Network. And let's jump into some Donald Trump news. This at Real TT 2024. This is reality. You know it. They know it. POTUS knows it. And pretty much the whole world knows it. Video by Candy Magenfald.
Our movement is about replacing a failed and corrupt political establishment with a new government controlled by you, the American people. The Washington establishment and the financial and media corporations that fund it exist for only one reason: to protect and enrich itself. The establishment has trillions of dollars at stake in this election. For those who control the levers of power in Washington and for the global special interest, they partner with these people that don't have your good in mind. Our campaign represents a true existential threat like they haven't seen before. This is not simply another 4-year election. This is a crossroads in the history of our civilization that will determine whether or not we, the people, reclaim control over our government. The political establishment that is trying to stop us is the same group responsible for our disastrous trade deals, massive illegal immigration, and economic and foreign policies that have bled our country dry. The political establishment has brought about the destruction of our factories and our jobs as they flee to Mexico, China, and other countries all around the world. It's a global power structure that is responsible for the economic decisions that have robbed our working class, stripped our country of its wealth, and put that money into the pockets of a handful of large corporations and political entities. This is a struggle for the survival of our nation, and this will be our last chance to save it. This election will determine whether we're a free nation or whether we have only the illusion of democracy, but are in fact controlled by a small handful of global special interests rigging the system, and our system is rigged. This is reality. You know it, they know it, I know it, and pretty much the whole world knows it.
Folks, America's on display around the world. People around the world are voting for their country. They're voting for nationalist presidents, nationalist leaders. The world is watching America, and we absolutely must show the world that we really mean what we say. When we vote Trump 2020, we are voting for America first. We are voting for our country and not the government elites. Far too long in my lifetime, we have watched as politicians step up, vote for me, and we all jokingly say, half-heartedly say, vote for the lesser of two evils. We know this guy isn't going to fulfill his promises. We know they lie. We know they don't have our best interests at heart. But if he does at least 1% of what he's saying he's going to do, all right, man, maybe I'll vote for him. And I'm sorry, folks, I slipped down that rabbit hole a little bit too. When Donald Trump was running in 2015 and 2016, I kept saying on the show, if Donald Trump does 2% of what he says he's going to do, that's double what any average politician is going to do. If he does 3, 4, 5% of what he says he's going to do, it's going to be a landslide reelection. I'm here to tell you, folks, it's much, much higher than that. It is in the double digits that Donald Trump is producing on his promises. One of the greatest economies we have ever witnessed in lifetimes. We're talking 50-year records, 60-year records. It is just incredible what this economy is doing, and nobody's talking about it. Mark my words, for those of you in the workforce that have a 401k and a retirement plan, open that up on the internet and look at the numbers, look at the digits of what has transpired in the last 2 years. I've got a 30-year-old friend of mine who's been married for about 5 or 6 years, and he's been donating to his 401k for the last 10 years. In the last 3 years, his 401k has gone from $9,000 total to almost $17,000. That's due in part to this incredible economy, but also the company that gives profit sharing. The profit sharing that the company is, because the company's making more money than they've ever made before. So now he's also being blessed with profit sharing, being blessed with this economy. I'm telling you, you can't fight that. When the economists say and the pundits say it's the economy stupid, that's for truly what it is. And we have our good friend here, Jamie ODR14, Jamie R. Army Girl. Incredible. Hispanics for Trump. I can watch this over and over. Thank you for standing up for our amazing president. Raise your hand if you agree. And as we switch over to Super Diaz, Black pastor calls Donald Trump more pro-black than Barack Obama at the Washington Times. The article goes, a black pastor who's longtime supporter of Donald Trump. I would respectfully like this article to start out. Pastor Darrell Scott of Cleveland. Thank you very much. Pastor Darrell Scott of Cleveland, longtime supporter of President Trump, is saying that Mr. Trump more pro-black than former President Barack Obama, the nation's only black president. Better ask Slick Willie about that. This is where Donald Trump wins. This is landslide 2020. When you have black leaders or leaders in the black community that are coming out and speaking truth to power. Folks, black men and women are working more now And the unemployment rate is the lowest that it's ever been recorded for that community. Also for Asians. It's the lowest unemployment for Asians, lowest unemployment for women, lowest unemployment ever for minorities. It's just incredible. People speak with their pocketbooks. When they're making money, they've got good jobs, things are moving forward. People start to change their mind on what's going on around the world. This at Winston Covfefe, just lovely. Law enforcement wearing MAGA hats, greeting our president before Air Force One took off. And President Trump, POTUS intern, took the time to sign their hats for each and every one of them. Our president truly cares about the men and women in uniform. This is an absolute fact. I've been around Donald Trump. I've seen him interact with people. Mike Pence as well. Mike Pence, when he was in town in Cincinnati and his detail was here, my cousin was part of that and one of the drivers helping out and being part of the Trump campaign. And Mike Pence, he's just that kind of guy that at the end of it all, when he arrived at his aircraft and all the volunteers were around, he stopped and said one by one, each volunteer walk up here and get a picture with me, because Mike Pence and Donald Trump they know how important it is to give credit where credit is due. That's the mark of a true leader to say, hey, it's not me that did all this. It is you, the supporters, the ones out there doing this for free, the ones out there helping the campaign and getting the word out. This is for you. That, again, my friend, is the mark of a true bona fide leader. Unlike Barack Obama would give a speech and say, I, or me, over 60, 70, 80, 100 times over an hour. Literally, I and me every minute. Big stark contrast. And this is also how we win 2020 around the country. Governors, senators, congressmen, take note. At Gov Ron DeSantis tweeted this out. This is one of two tweets. I was honored to deliver a keynote address at the Israeli-American Business Summit hosted by at AM Charm Israel. Israel and the United States, especially Florida, have a sound economic bond that we are working to strengthen even further on this historic business development mission. I'm also proud to announce that during the summit, the at FI Chamber and at AM Cham Israel and Federation of Israel Chambers of Commerce signed a memorandum of understanding to recognize our strong interest in growing the business and investment relationships between Florida and Israel. I'm showing you what Donald Trump is doing. I'm showing you what Republican governors are doing. I am showing you what senators and congressmen that are Republicans that have Donald Trump's back, what they are doing. These are the ones that you need to fall upon whenever confronting or involved in any kind of confrontation with a Democrat who claims that their politicians are working, Republicans are lying, cheating, and stealing. That's just name calling. I'm showing you factually what is going on. This is the economy. This is Ron DeSantis working for the people in Florida to help their economy and help move them forward as well. That's a 1-2 power punch right there. Donald Trump creating an environment to where businesses can thrive and not only survive, but push forward and reach new heights with the likes they've never seen before. And then Ron DeSantis capitalizing on what Donald Trump and the environment that he has created to help Florida take advantage of the situation that is at hand. This creates massive amounts of jobs, massive amounts of revenue for the state of Florida, possibly lowering taxes, possibly doing some great things to where people can feel better about their financial situation, traveling more, buying a bigger RV, a bigger camper, a new car, a bigger car, a better house, getting a better job. This is how you win a landslide election. And if you haven't heard in the past couple of days, over Monday, in the middle of the night, there was a huge tornado that came through and ripped through Dayton, Ohio, just about an hour north of Cincinnati, where we're at right here. I'll actually be there in Dayton, Ohio today, surveying the damage and talking with America's Voice and as a guest, showcasing what is going on and the damage that has happened there. Please, your thoughts and prayers for those in Dayton, Ohio, that it looks like what has turned out to be a devastating tornado. And Donald Trump making contact with Governor Mike DeWine. We here in Ohio absolutely love Governor Mike DeWine and the unity that we have with Republicans in the state of Ohio. At Real Donald Trump, at Governor Mike DeWine, just updated me on the devastation from the many tornadoes that struck Ohio earlier this morning. My administration fully supports the people of the great state of Ohio as they begin the cleanup and recovery. And again, like I said, I'm going to be up in Dayton, Ohio, surveying the damage with America's Voice, just updating and reporting on what's going on. And thank you, President Donald J. Trump, for your support here in Ohio, as well as I believe in Kansas. There's been a lot of damage throughout the Midwest. There's been damage. FEMA has been sent out to help out individuals. Before, I was very nervous about FEMA, and I didn't like their response, and I didn't like the way things were happening with FEMA. And it just seemed like an over-bloated governmental bureaucracy. Donald Trump has been very effective with FEMA, and FEMA has been very effective under this administration. So changing things up, I'm extremely happy with the way things are going. Thank you, President Trump. Shift gears to show you what the Democrats are doing. I've now shown you what the Republicans are doing. Now I'm going to show you what the Democrats are doing. And as we segue with our favorite politician here, Jim Jordan. Not only is our favorite because he's from Ohio, but he's just a great guy all around. And at Jim_Jordan, Representative Jordan, when your focus is attacking Trump, you can't do what's best for America.
Joining me now, Jim Jordan, ranking member of the House Oversight Committee. Congressman, I got to tell you, I've been around here longer than you have. For a long time in this city, I've seen a lot. This was one of the most disgusting displays, and in both instances, I want to get your reaction. Well, no, but this is beyond now.
You had it exactly right. When your entire focus is on attacking and stopping the president, you can't do what's best for the country. Yet, in spite of that, this is the amazing thing, and you had this in your angle. In spite of that, the president's record in 2.5 years of achieving good things for the country is unbelievable. I mean, I always go down the list: regulations reduced, taxes cut, economy growing at an amazing rate, Gorsuch and Kavanaugh in the court, and a lot of other judges confirmed we're out of the Iran deal, the embassies in Jerusalem, hostages home from North Korea, NAFTA, the new NAFTA, the USMCA, ready to go.
Wait, but Congressman, they not only won't work with Trump, their entire modus operandi right now is to slash at him up to 2020. So we're going to get into this crisis at the border, which has now reached epic proportions.
It sure has.
But I want to play this for you just from chuckles. MSNBC's Chuck Todd says that the Republican Party tonight is in danger because they only have really accomplished one thing. Let's watch.
Everybody else is going along with this? Like, be careful catching this car. It seems like you're playing with matches near a gas tank. Republicans, at some point, do they want to sit here and have their only accomplishment be protecting Trump?
Well, like you said, we got Gorsuch and Kavanaugh in the court. We're out of the Iran deal. The embassies in Jerusalem, hostages to come home from North Korea. The economy is growing at 3.2%, lowest unemployment in 50 years. I think that's a pretty good
record.
That's a
pretty good thing to protect.
Taxes
that agenda.
Regulations reduced. I think it's a pretty good record to run on. I think the bigger question is what you raised. The only thing the Democrats are going to have to run on is attacking the president, who's responsible for all those good things. And they are so focused on attacking him. They actually have these secret memorandums of understanding where the various key chairmen, the Oversight Committee, the Judiciary Committee, the Financial Services, the Ways and Means, and of course the Intel Committee with chairmanship, they have these memorandum, a basic contract saying, here's how we're going to coordinate our attacks on the president, because our singular focus is going after the guy who has helped the 2.5 years of all the great things that have happened.
You seen it right there. Fake news versus Jim Jordan. It's truly on display. Jim Jordan, again, When your focus is attacking Trump, you cannot do what is best for America. Now, he was referencing, and so was Laura, referencing Nancy Pelosi saying that Donald Trump is involved in a cover-up. This is dangerous. Calling out the President of the United States as being involved in a cover-up, when in reality, it is you that is covering up. It is you that is lying, covering for Comey, for McCabe, for Brennan, for Hillary, for Obama, for Adam Schiff, Joe Biden, all y'all. We know you guys are dirty. It's been like this for decades, and now we're sick and tired of having to put up with all this BS. We, the people, are tired of all your lying, cheating, and stealing, robbing from the coffers, taking our money, spending our money. Folks, do not forget that when Barack Obama took over as president of the United States, we had $9 trillion in debt. When he left, it was $19 trillion in debt. 9 trillion to 19 trillion. Barack Obama put us in debt with more so than all 43 presidents combined, all congressmen and congresses combined, all of it. Barack Obama, in his 8 years of reign of terror, took us from 9 trillion in debt to 19 trillion in debt. Never forget where we came from. Do not get complacent. We've got to continue to say this over and over again. If you're like, Brian, you sound like a broken record. I've got to be that broken record for the new folks that are coming in, for the new young ones that are coming up that have never heard these things before. Whether you would talk about, racist, sexist, bigot, homophobe. You talk about Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. That stuff has to keep coming up over and over and over again for the new folks coming up. These millennials, they are shocked when they find out that Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky, and a Havana cigar has something to do with each other. They are shocked and beside themselves. This is what they need to wake up to, because when they do, they realize, wow, I'm not down with that. Abortion, when they wake up to and realize, and we talk about it, it's difficult to talk about it. I was talking with the writers yesterday at New Right Network. It's difficult to continue to write articles over and over and over again about abortion and the vile, just disgusting act that it is and everything involved in it and how to perform an abortion. When the millennials find out about this, when Gen Z finds out about what an abortion truly is, you want to see somebody get sick and about throw up. That would be them. They need to continue to hear these things from us as we put the Democrats on display. And again, I promise you, Maxine Waters went ape today. She went absolutely crazy. As one of her minions retweeted and put a comment, said, "You're the best, Max. God bless you for stepping up and protecting this great country from all these traitors. Your colleagues, Republicans, are simply liars and cowards." Folks, this is someone who's been gaslit. I just showed you truth, fact, and Republicans and what they're doing. This individual is calling them liars and cowards. Okay. And he's responding to her tweet that had gone viral this morning at Rep. Maxine Waters. Low-life Trump, lying, crooked, tax evader, porn star fornicator, should take his ridiculous self home, resign, free us of what we have to do to impeach him and throw him out of office. Yes, that just happened. That happened today. Low-life, lying, crooked, tax evader, porn star fornicator. I don't know who wrote that for, but that's kind of catchy. It's got a little rhyme to it. Update, Maxine Waters, Stormy Daniels, last year admitted she lied about being with Donald Trump. Wrote a book about it and lied about it. You could Google it. It's a little tough to find. It's from the it's from the New York Post. New York Post wrote the article about it and laid it all out. Stormy Daniels, yeah, man. I'm sorry, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. New York Post wrote about it. Maxine, you should watch my show. It might change your mind a little bit about what's real and not real. I'm afraid Maxine believes what she says. Unlike Hillary Clinton, knows that she's lying. I believe Nancy Pelosi believes what she says, unlike Barack Obama, who knows he's lying. Maxine Waters, completely confused and totally gaslighting her entire base. This at Real Dr. Gina, a good friend of the show, great mind and a great one to follow. No, Maxine, at Real Donald Trump is privy to the info you don't have. He knows how to negotiate, and he is just plain smarter than you. But your dictatorial desire to overturn the election certainly puts America at a security risk. And at John Lundgren 5, you spelled William Jefferson Clinton incorrectly. Hashtag MAGA, hashtag Trump 2020. Careful, your mental breakdown is showing. This is great tweets by some great individuals. Yes, this is very dangerous for our country. This shows other governments and other dictators, if you will, the disconnect and the divide between our parties and our party leaders, to where they may want to support Maxine Waters, dump money on her, support Hillary Clinton, the Clinton Foundation to the tune of hundreds of billions of dollars in order to overthrow our way of life and our government. And it was that close to happening. If Hillary Clinton would have won, she absolutely would have continued with the policies and even worse policies, selling out the country, selling out more uranium, selling out more resources, getting us into more wars. Don't forget, folks, it was awful what she had done. What they did in Syria, what they did in to Muammar Gaddafi in Libya, which is now a complete civil war. They've got so much oil down there, the whole place is in a civil war. Nobody knows who to pay or how to get it. They want the oil, but nobody knows who to pay for it. That's how upside down she had caused that country to be. I can only imagine what she would have done with America. We've got to stay on top of this. Another great mind, a beautiful intellectual woman to follow at Stacey Dash. After 38 years in office, now you want to do something? Maxine, please do the math. Making more false promises so that you can be reelected. No more. Hashtag vote her out. And this to Maxine Waters' tweet. She went on a tirade this morning and she tweeted out, "Today I spent time with vets in my district. Yes, I honored the fallen and condemned our leaders for turning a blind eye to homeless vets. Enough talk about how much we love our vets. Let's get real. Support my bill, H.R. 1856, $13 billion to end homelessness and get our vets off the street." Ben Carson just the other day said, we can't keep throwing billions of dollars at this problem. We need to get to the root of the problem, because throwing $13 billion at the problem, watch what happens. A fraction of that will get to the problem, and the majority of that will line the pockets of these politicians. If you've never known about this, welfare, out of the 100% of money and resources given to welfare as a whole, take that 100% as a whole. By the time the welfare recipient receives the food stamps, the food aid, the cash aid, whatever it be, by the time they receive it, it's 25% of the original 100% donated. That's a problem. There's a lot of sticky hands in there, and I can't imagine that Democrats being at the head of that. They probably are. So as Maxine Waters claims to be helping the vets and wanting homelessness, this is the first time I've ever heard this. Let's look at what Donald Trump is doing. Donald Trump posted up this video on Twitter. Thank you, sir, for tweeting. I love all your tweets. There's not a single one I don't like. At Real Donald Trump. God bless the United States of America.
I'm thrilled to be aboard the USS Wasp with the brave sailors and Marines, the 7th Fleet. Together, you're advancing freedom on the high seas, shielding our nation from dangerous weapons, and preserving the peace that generations of valiant American warriors gave their lives to secure. Our freedom is earned through the blood and sweat and toil and sacrifice of great American patriots just like you. As we honor America's fallen warriors, We pledge our unwavering devotion to all of those who serve our nation in uniform. You honor their sacrifice, you carry on their righteous duty, and you continue their noble legacy. On behalf of all Americans, we thank you, we salute you, we honor you, we cherish you, and we stand with you now and forever.
USA, USA. Here's another one to follow. At @made_USA, Trump USA. On our way to 100,000. Thank you for following. We just hit 95,000 followers, the 95K club. #Trump USA, champion president, MAGA country, vets first, Trump 2020, Tom Fitton, Fox News. Man, she got everybody in there. And then this also at U.S. Forces Japan. A huge crowd of Marines and sailors are ready for arrival of their commander-in-chief, POTUS, at Real Donald Trump, aboard the USS Wasp LHD-1. Catch it here live at 1100 JKT. You want to talk about a president who respects law and order? A president respects the police department. A president that respects our military and everything around law and order having to do with law. This is the president. This is who is doing this. Not lying Maxine Waters. This is ridiculous. We've never seen Maxine Waters. And I didn't even see pictures of her being with the military. And it's unfortunate nowadays. We cannot believe individuals, politicians. It's hard to believe in many ways without pictures and the picture ops and the photo ops. You've got to show the pictures, folks. Sorry, Mad Maxine. You done lost this one. And now let's wrap this up with some Spygate real quick. Updates on what's going on. Thank you at Representative Mark Meadows. The Brennan, Clapper, Comey and Company. House of Cards is falling, and they know it. This tweeting out to J.A. Beale. So it begins. Brenner and Company have apparently decided to burn a source in advance of Barr's uncovering the CIA's role in the initiation and conduct of the FBI's investigation under the ironic guise of claiming that Barr's investigation will burn the source. So they gave him to the New York Times. At Representative Mark Meadows, for someone so quick to accuse at Real Donald Trump of lying, James Comey is awfully eager to hide documents on the Russia investigation from Americans. The math is not hard to do. He knows his actions are about to be exposed by the evidence. This at the Washington Post. Former FBI Director James Comey writes an op-ed piece that Trump's conspiracy theory about treason is full of dumb lies. This is what I love about this knucklehead. He won't stop talking. That is the most ridiculous thing ever. We know it. The more that we know and the more that you talk, the more that we know you're the biggest liar up there on Capitol Hill. The worst FBI director ever in the history of FBI directors. Most criminal acts. This one's going to prison, guys. If there's ever anybody going to prison, James Comey's got to do some prison time. And John Brennan is right behind him as well. And that's the other thing about John Brennan. He can't stop talking as well. John Brennan and Adam Schiff, all of them can't stop talking because if they do, one, they're had. But the fact that they keep talking and things that they're saying, they're still had. It's a double-edged sword and they're going to get cut both ways. This at Paul Sperry breaking. Sources tell me Democratic House Intel Adam Schiff is demanding document production and testimony, even from witnesses and subjects who had only bit parts in the Mueller probe and report, repaving not only old collusion ground, but minor ground in the Russian hoax, #harassment. 100% presidential harassment. We've never seen this before, ever. Even Donald Trump tweeting out about this. There's no president that has ever been harassed like this before. They've got to continue the harassment. One, to gaslight their people, and two, to confuse people on what is real. When all the facts come out, all the documents come out, and people start going to prison, everybody will know what's real. This at Sweeps Fox. Deep State Obama, Brennan, Clapper, Comey running scared as the ship for them. Soon, AG Barr leading the charge for treason sooner than later. Sweeps Fox to Geneva on Trump's order to declassify 2016 surveillance documents.
Joining us now, Joe DeGeneva, legal analyst, former U.S. Attorney to the District of Columbia. Joe, thanks for joining us this morning.
Happy Memorial Day, and remember all our fallen heroes.
Absolutely. Joe, the president made a big announcement. He authorized Attorney General Bill Barr to declassify all materials related to the Russia investigation. So where is it? Where is it? How come we haven't had anything yet?
Full-scale war. Let me tell you exactly what's going on here. This is very important for the listeners. When Bill Barr became Attorney General, the president said, see if you can get to the bottom of what happened during the campaign. Bill Barr tried to do that, and you will recall from his interview with Fox, he said he now had more questions than he had when he started. Chris Wray, the current FBI director, was stonewalling the current Attorney General, Bill Barr, on disclosure of certain information about FBI conduct. It got very, very heated. And Gina Haspel, the CIA director, was also resisting disclosure of certain information. Barr got fed up, went to the president and said, Mr. President, I can't answer your question, and here's why. And the president said, fine. 24 hours later, the order came out. This is full-scale war between the Attorney General of the United States and, believe it or not, another FBI director who thinks he's James Comey. Christopher Wray is a disaster. He's an unmitigated disaster. But I want you to just think about this. Look at two newspaper headlines. May 24th, Washington Post, unease as Barr's power grows. Carryover headline, current former officials fear distortion of FBI, CIA's work. Next day, New York Times, order to review secrets pits CIA versus Justice Department. Order to review secrets sets up power struggle.
As you heard him say, all full-scale war. Christopher Wray, the director, and Gina Haspel, we've got issues, folks. It is not over. Donald Trump saying, okay, Attorney General Barr, what do you need? You need it all? Here's all the power you need. And now we've got mainstream media screaming and yelling, saying, look, it's too much power. He's too much this, and the warring and the infighting. This is just smoke and mirror, folks. This is how we flush out the bad guys. And at Redhead 4645, Comey, McCabe, and Yates didn't follow procedures and protocols with main goal to stop Donald J. Trump. They lied, they cheated, they deceived, they accused POTUS of those very things to hide themselves. At POTUS follows the law. Hashtag stable genius. Hashtag MAGA 2020. Uh-oh, guys. FBI lawyer squeals like a pig. Implicates Comey, McCabe, and Yates for mishandling of FISA warrants. This was also released by Representative Doug Collins, part of his docu-dump. All the documents are coming out. We're seeing everything, and everybody is squealing on everybody else. This is an absolute, utter disaster for the Democrats. Something else that'll be a disaster for the Democrats as well is the abortion issue. Thank you, sir, at GOP leadership. 50 times. That's how many times Republicans have tried to vote to provide mandatory medical care to babies who survived botched abortions. Every time, Democrats have shut down the debate.
I ask unanimous consent.
I ask unanimous consent.
That the Committee on Judiciary be discharged.
For further consideration of H.R. 962.
The Born Alive Abortion Survivors
Protection Act. And ask for the immediate consideration.
Immediate consideration in the House.
Medical care should be mandatory.
Becoming a mom,
every baby
bringing a
born alive.
life into the world is the most amazing thing ever.
That's coming from a mom of a child who is given a 0% chance of survival.
How have we come to this point in our country?
There are no objections on the Republican side
to defend the God-given right to
Born
life,
Alive Abortion Protection Act, the killing of a living child.
the smallest and most vulnerable among us,
who survive abortion procedures.
We got to call Born Alive abortion what it is, and it's infanticide.
Now is the time that we stop this and we set up a new path for America that values every life.
GOPleader.gov/life. Democrats can't run from this one. This one is just really, really glaringly awful. We got the governor, Northam, out of Virginia, saying, well, we'll keep the baby comfortable and the mother comfortable while we, decide on what to do with the baby and murder it. Yeah. Nope. No good at all. Democrats also embracing Islam. This is not a winning proposition. And also Democrats screaming out about foreign policy and security with Donald Trump. This at Mark Levin, CNN clowns, let me help. Has Trump been tougher on China, Russia, Iran, Cuba, Syria, ISIS, Palestinian terrorists, and yes, North Korea than Obama? No question about it, yes. But CNN's clowns live in their own unreality and spew their propaganda as their ratings collapse. And then our friend at Zionist Girl 18 replied to him, one guy is killed in Turkey by Saudi hit man and CNN goes ballistic, wall-to-wall coverage. One guy insults a Muslim and CNN goes ballistic, wall-to-wall coverage about Islamophobia. 6,000 black people slaughtered and murdered because they are Christian. Silence. This by thechristianpost.com. I know it's tough to hear, but we've got to keep talking about this just like we talk about abortion. We've got to keep bringing up the real issues again and again and again so that the younger ones get it and the folks that don't know, they hear it. Now for some great news, the Donald Trump 2020 landslide. I know I showed you this one yesterday, but I ran out of time, didn't have time to play the actual video clip, but at Francis_712, listen to this gentleman from England praising Trump. I do respect the fact that Trump stood on a platform.
Those who find it difficult to understand that the American people voted for Donald Trump get over it because he's president of the United States. And what I would say for all of us here, and this actually includes myself, is that we have to ask ourselves, why is it that people felt so left behind that they've made the democratic decisions that they've had, which we think we can't understand, some of us. How can you possibly vote for Brexit? How can you possibly vote for Donald Trump? And the fact is that the people have. These were the forgotten people. And just like we had the forgotten people in the United Kingdom, there are the forgotten people in the United States of America. We may not like some of the things that he says, and I certainly don't like some of the things that he said in the past, but I do respect the fact that he stood on a platform which he is now delivering. He's going to go down in history as being roundly condemned for being the only politician to deliver on his promises. I know that we can all go back and talk to the people that we know in our own little echo chambers, and that we all hear are the same things, but the fact is that there were 61 million people who voted for Donald Trump. And when we stand up in this country and then condemn him for being racist, and I've seen no evidence of that, I have seen no evidence of him being racist, or that they attack him in an unseemly way, we're actually attacking the American people, the 61 million people who voted for Donald Trump. If they wanted more of the same or the usual stuff, well, that was on the ballot paper. But they decided, by the majority of states on the Electoral College, as it works, that they wanted Donald Trump.
Donald Trump going to go down in history as the first president ever to be condemned for keeping his promises. Promises made, promises kept. Being condemned for keeping his promises. And this at Real Jack, good friend of ours, Jack Murphy, breaking. President Trump is considering changing social media platforms to a Republican version of Twitter. This at trendingpolitics.com. I'm going to politely disagree with that. I don't think that we should have a platform, and I don't think Donald Trump should move to a platform that is a Republican-based platform. I just want Donald Trump to move to a platform that is an even playing field, where we all have voices of our own. We're not censored. We're not shadow banned. And again, folks, at the very beginning of the show, I showcased all the MAGA people you need to follow. Look down at the bottom of the show notes below and follow those folks. When I started to try and find the link to their handles, every single one of them, the ones that I follow, the ones that follow me, it was difficult. I put it in the search bar and it would not show up. What is that all about, Jack Dorsey? And Donald Trump tweeting out today at Real Donald Trump, Republicans cannot allow themselves to again lose the Senate seat in the great state of Alabama. This time it will be for 6 years, not only 2. I have nothing against Roy Moore, and unlike many other Republican leaders, wanted him to win, but he didn't and probably won't. If Alabama does not elect a Republican to the Senate in 2020, many of the incredible gains that we have made during my presidency may be lost including pro-life victories. Roy Moore cannot win, and the consequences will be devastating. Judges and Supreme Court justices. And then at Real Kyle Morris tweeted out, Donald J. Trump Jr. to Roy Moore, time to ride off into the sunset, Judge. I couldn't agree more. No pun intended, but truly, honestly, we don't need to go down this road. We've got 320 million Americans in this country, and granted, we all don't live in Alabama, but certainly out of the 320 million Americans, somebody call somebody in Alabama to run for the Senate. We can certainly find somebody. Alabama is a very conservative state. You put up a Christian conservative that has Donald Trump's back, America first, make America great again agenda, keep America great agenda, and just run on your Christian values. Slam dunk Alabama. I'm just saying. Sweet home Alabama. Come on, man. You bring it on home for us. You guys in Alabama, you got to make this happen. And Roy Moore thinking about running for the Senate. And I do not believe that is a good idea. There are too many issues, too many slivers of problems that the Democrats have already come out with. Whether you dated somebody that was 19 and you were 35, legal, not legal, it's all legal because you're an adult, but had a conversation with somebody that was 16 and you were 30, all those, it's muddy in the water and it's too late. It's too far gone, and it's very unfortunate. I think Roy Moore would have been a great senator if he'd have kept his seat. I think he would have been fantastic, but that didn't come to be. Now we got to move on. Ironically, though, the guy that's in his seat right now has voted with Trump on a handful of things. So I don't know. I don't know. Sorry, Roy Moore. It's just unfortunate that that's the way it goes. That's the way the cookie crumbles. And again, folks, you're watching New Right Network, original series, Smith TV. Your host, Brian Smith, giving you all the breaking news of the day, wrapping it all up, making sense of it, exposing the fake news, giving you the real news, showing the Democrats and who they are and what they're saying and what they're doing, and then showing you the sane voices on the Republican side as we showcase our great president, his thoughts and ideas as well, and all the great patriots. Thank you for the contributions that you have made to this show. For every single one of you that are out there in the battlefield, in the digital world, those that are digital warriors, continue to fight on. Whether you think somebody's listening to you or not, we're listening, folks. Even if you reach one person, if you get one retweet, and if you get one like, and that's all you get for weeks on end. That's how I began. That's how I started. I started years and years ago, been shadow banned, been stuck, been banned, been blocked, come back and forth, switched accounts. I know how you feel. I've been there. But folks, we're making a difference. We got to hang in there, stick together, and continue to fight the good fight to get the real news out. And again, I thank you for the bottom of my heart for all the Patreons that have been helping our show for over the past 5 years. God bless you, and may God bless you and your finances in 2019 and 2020 for the gifts that you've given us. I'm so very humble and thankful. If you like what you hear, and this is the first time you've been on the show, jump over to SmythTV, check it out. Decide, think about this. Look at your finances and say, hey, you know what? I can afford an extra $1 or $2 and drop it over to Patreon and SmythTV. Fantastic. That is excellent. Thank you very much. And if you want a patriotic t-shirt or something, check out the mall that we got set up. And I thank you to the Patreons who set up the mall. Guys, you are incredible. Thank God for our Patreons and as well as Donald Trump's Twitter feed live right there on our website. So for Wednesday Wisdom, man, got to stop the gaslighting. Got to get out the real news. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Thursday Thoughts. Peace out.
You've been listening to New Right Network, mobilizing, countering, energizing. Online at newrightnetwork.com.